Welcome to Married with Cards with Dan and Law Norton. Hello everyone, welcome to Married with Cards. I'm Dan, this is my wife Law. This is a podcast where we talk about our trading card game collecting, mainly focused on Pokemon, a little bit of other TCG stuff as well. We're going to talk about what we've added to our collections. We're going to talk about some of the news that's happened. But first, general catch-up. Law, what have we been up to in the last couple of weeks?
Well, we had our 9th wedding anniversary.
We did. We went out for a nice meal.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Where did we go?
We went to Fogo de Chao.
Yep.
Which I don't think I had been to since there was a staff dinner after a World Championships.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think I went to the ones in maybe like 2016, 2017 when spouses were allowed to come before, world staff blew up to from 150 to 400 people or something.
Yeah.
So they stopped spouses coming. But I think you had one or two after that, but it's probably about 2018. Maybe 2019 was the last time you did a Fogo de Chao's.
Something like that, yeah.
So we went there. People who don't know, it's one of those places where you just have a little yes or no card and they just come around with different cuts of meat on skewers.
It's a Brazilian steakhouse?
Brazilian steakhouse, yeah. So we did that. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Been married for, 9 years now. And then the other big thing we had to deal with was our idiot dog.
Yes.
Our little dog Elton, the corgi, was being brought back in from going out to party on a morning before Law went to the gym. While I was still in bed, Law let him back in while trying to get our other dog inside. And then suddenly I hear a shout from the living room, Dan, can you Google if it's okay for dogs to eat corn? Elton had gotten up onto the table and eaten about 3/4 of a husk of a corn on the cob. So he'd eaten the cob.
Yep.
So he spent...
Fun fact, no, it is not okay for a dog to eat a corn cob.
No, so he spent a night in the vets having to end up having to have a scope done to get the rest out of his stomach. So that was fun. He's a problem child. Those were the biggest things we've had to deal with the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So yes, a stressful couple of weeks with that. But let's talk about new cards that we got. Do you first want to talk about your anniversary present?
Yeah, so you went to a card show without me.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about the card show in a little bit more detail.
Okay.
You talk about what I got you for our anniversary first.
But for our anniversary, I got a special Captain Pikachu card. I'm assuming we're going to put...
Yep, throw your picture on the screen of it.
Image on screen. And it's one of how many different Chinese prints?
So there's a lot of different Chinese exclusive cards from these gem packs that they're called. But there's 9 different Pikachu in this gem pack. I got you, I think, 6 of them total. But only one of the 3 that I didn't get is still exclusive in terms of artwork. Because there's the full art Captain Pikachu, which I got. And then there's 6 different versions of a regular art Captain Pikachu with different foil types. Then there's the baby shiny and a full art, which we did get those arts for in English. And the one Captain Pikachu I didn't get is still the same art as some of the other ones that I did get. So obviously the full art is the big expensive one out of that set of 9.
It's super fancy. It's got Captain Pikachu and Freed from the most recent anime.
Yeah. That same set has a full art of Sprigatito with Lilo, was it? And then Fuecoco with Roy. Liko. And then there's a full art Quaxley with some other character.
Probably Dot.
Probably. I haven't actually watched the show.
It's great.
Yeah. The Chinese Gem Pack number 3 is actually coming out. I think it is out now. That's the one that people have because there's a...
Is that the one with Sylveon on it?
No, I think that's still number 2.
Okay.
The number 3 is the one with Gengar on it.
Ooh.
Because there's multiple different Pikachu exclusives. But there's a Pikachu with Gengar that's
spooky.
Way up there in price.
I bet.
Yeah. I did also get myself a lot of the Vaporeons from Gem Pack and use some of the Eevees from Gem Pack 2 as well. None of the big expensive ones in there, though, just the smaller ones. So outside of the Gem Pack, obviously last week we picked out Silver Tempest out of the box for me to work on. So right after we did that, when I went to work, raided our Silver Tempest at work, filled in a lot of the gaps. Basically just grabbed everything we had at work for both me and you, with the exception of, I think we had the Rayquaza at work, but I said I wasn't going to try right now getting you the Rayquaza and the Lugia just because they were so expensive.
Sure.
So I think I'm down to needing about 10 cards total from the set, which is not very much. And the most expensive one I need is Rainbow Unknown, which is, I think, is about $8. So it's really not going to cost me very much to finish the set. It is now just going to be a case of going online and finding a store that's got them all in stock and ordering what I need.
Yeah, or,
really.
I mean, check out Little Root's stock. And
yeah, probably check out Little Root, another local store that we sometimes buy stuff from. So I did, obviously, went through work, and then when I went to the card show, I looked for a lot of stuff there. The card show was just one that's at a local high school. It's one we've vended for before, but this time it was starting early and you had to work, so you wanted to sleep in. So I just went down for a couple of hours, looked around, picked up some stuff, traded a little bit of stuff. It's quite weird. Obviously, the card shows have a huge selection of stuff between all the booths, but knowing that I was only looking for Silver Tempest stuff, plus obviously, of course, random promos, if I know we're missing them, random promos, random variants, I'll pick those up. I actually spent more than when I was looking at everything, because you just have that thing of where it's like the too much choice paralyzes you, or whatever they say, where you go like, oh, I don't know what I want to buy, and you end up just not buying any of it. Like when I've gone before where it's like, oh, I know I need 50 full art supporters from 30 different sets, and even though they're only a couple of bucks each, I end up just not getting them, because it's like, oh, well, I don't know which ones I want the most, I don't want to pull up all my chat lists. But knowing specifically this is the small amount of cards that we are looking for, just really streamlined it, grabbed, let's say, way more cards than I would have in the past. So it was a great show. Also picked up, well, when I was trading it, I traded in a card to get you a Captain Pikachu, and I got $450 of credit from the booth. They didn't have any of the Silver Tempest that we needed, so from them I got the Gold Arceus and the Glaceon V-Star from Galarian Gallery, because I knew those were two of the bigger cards I still needed from Galarian Gallery, and that was another one where it's like, it would be cool to finish that. Then at work, the week after that, I grabbed myself the Mewtwo, because even though I said I was focusing on Silver Tempest, I want to say, by the way, I also from work picked up that Melmetal for Pokemon Go, so I'm now completely done with Pokemon Go.
Nice.
The only thing I still want to grab at some point is another peeled Ditto for my reverse set, since that only comes in foil, doesn't come in reverse. I just want another one to fill the number gap, but I have every card from it, other than prize packs, which still is only 2 cards. But Galarian Gallery, listen, because I knew my work didn't have Silver Tempest, it was like, okay, well, I need to spend my store credit on something, and having that Mewtwo being the big one from Galarian Gallery, it was like, okay, I'll get that one, because the Arceus and Glaceon were the second and third most expensive I still needed. Getting the Mewtwo out of the way, the big expensive one I still need now is the Pikachu, which is only about $30.
That's not bad.
So I am getting pretty close on Galarian Gallery as well. Still a million miles away from regular Crown Zenith, because regular Crown Zenith, the Galarian Gallery card replaced the reverse holo.
Oh,
if you remember. So the fact that 1 in 4 packs had a Galarian Gallery card and no reverse holo, and just how hard it was to get a lot of Crown Zenith still, or how much we didn't want to spend the money to get a lot of Crown Zenith. I'm still missing a ton of reverses, and a ton of like regular Vs and VMAXs and V-Stars. I don't think they're too expensive though.
Weird.
Yeah, I do have all the full art trainers at least, and the Secret Pikachu, so that's good. So maybe Crown Zenith will be one I focus on properly after Silver Tempest is done. But it's probably also going to be one where, when I'm ordering stuff online, if I find a store that's well stocked, I'll probably try and do like all of the reverses from a lot of sets together, just because they're going to be super cheap. In terms of one more card I got the Professor Roseanne's backup. I bought that from my friend Jeffrey, because he owed some money for some stuff I bought from him for Worlds, and then he got that one. It was either his or a friend. He got that and said like, oh, do you know anyone wants this? And I was like, well, I'll just give you like $20 to top what you owe me. Another one checked off the list.
Perfect, yeah.
As well as obviously getting those, I've been working on organizing a lot more this week, or these last 2 weeks, than I have been in the past. Like, I've got my system a bit more down at the moment for what we're doing, and I've sorted all of our sets for Sword and Shield. I need to do the promo binder still, a Black Star promo binder. But basically, to speed it up, one thing I've been doing is I had two kind of rules I've stuck to. One is, does not get marked off the checklist until it's in the binder.
Good.
So that's where I know, like, if stuff's on my checklist, even if I know we have it somewhere, if it's not in the binder, it's still marked as missing on the checklist. And second has been, don't look for stuff. So there's times in the past where I've been trying to sort a binder and I go, oh, I know I have that. Where is it? Spend a day trying to find it, put it in the binder. To get through all the stuff, I've just been going like, no, if I don't have it here, because I went up through all that stuff upstairs, brought everything down that was Sword and Shield era. I've still got some piles on the table. But if it wasn't here, it's just marked as missing and I'm not looking for it. Like, I've got a small pile here that need to go in because I found them as I've been sorting through other stuff as we go. But it's just going to be they go through again and they get reorganized, get added to,
Sure.
just so that I get through them all. And then once I've done the promo binder, I then have all these piles that I can go through. Okay, double check them, but if all of this is extras, it now goes into the extras box. I know that it's done. Reason I started with Sword and Shield is Scarlet Violet, the promo is just updating too often. Like, I did a quick run through of our Scarlet Violet stuff about a month ago, just putting together a binder of variants rather than doing it within the set. And already, I think nearly every set has to move because of all of those boxes with the set logos and stuff on.
Sure, yeah.
That they just have to move, gaps have to be left. So if I keep doing Scarlet Violet, it's just going to be updating all the time. So I'm now going to leave that to last, get through basically every other era, probably back to Diamond and Pearl. This is when I'm at least wanting to get, what comes for Sword and Shield? Sun and Moon. At least when I get Sun and Moon and XY era done before I even look at Scarlet Violet again.
Sure.
Just because Sun and Moon is the one where I just know there are a ton of variants and stuff lying around upstairs that need sorting into, are they ours or are they extras? Just get rid of them. Because Sun and Moon was Sun and Moon and so XY was when I was half living in England for that and then moved over, so a lot of that didn't get organized to that. Sun and Moon was when we moved house, so there was a load of stuff in the middle there that just didn't get organized, didn't get sorted, never got unpacked properly after we moved. So there's just going to be a ton of that gets sorted, and then once a lot of that's done, it's then like, oh, I found an extra box. Now I can go through it, just compare it to checklists and stuff. Honestly, anyone who's starting to collect, organize and document from day one. Once you get behind, it's so hard to catch up. There's just so much.
Yeah.
There's just so much to do. It just, the fact that so much stuff's constantly coming out as well. I mean, I still have our Mega Evolutions to finish sorting. That's all upstairs. I've been doing videos, obviously opening it. But that's semi-low priority because we're not going to buy any singles from Mega anytime soon.
Right.
Because we're waiting to see if you get boxes from doing any events. And, you know, it's not going to change if we buy, like, because if we see, like, blister packs and stuff, we're going to get them because we want the promos and stuff anyway. So that's what I've been doing, I guess, Pokemon-wise, during these last 2 weeks a lot. You've basically just been doing, you know, League and stuff last couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, like, nothing big.
Yeah, there's no big events. Do you guys have Pokeween schedule that we talked about last time?
Yes.
I
hate that name.
Yeah, it's not a great name, but you got Spiritombs.
We've got plans for it. We've got Spiritombs. One store is going to be doing like a arts and crafts. It's also on challenge night. So we're going to have kind of the competitive on one side.
Okay.
Arts and crafts, like kid stuff.
That'll be fun.
On the other. And then we haven't really figured out what the other store's doing yet.
Okay.
So.
Well.
And then I have another store doing a challenge and costume contest.
Oh, nice.
So.
You work with 3 stores this one?
Yeah, one of them's yours.
Oh, you're working with Cardfather?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know you were working with Cardfather to do this one.
Yeah, I'm
thought Robbie was doing it.
helping out with the challenge.
Okay, cool. Well, that'll be fun. We'll be able to talk about that when it actually happens.
Yeah.
Anyway. So news stuff, there's not really that much news. Like, there hasn't been that much announced because, a new set just came out.
ZA is coming soon.
Yeah. Big thing. Phantasmal Flames is sort of out because they kept screwing up. A lot of people who ordered the 3-pack blisters of Mega Evolutions from the Pokemon Center found them coming with 2 Megas and 1 Phantasmal Flames pack. A bunch of people who got the Pokemon Center ETBs got sent a Phantasmal Flames one instead. And there's at least some people have already been sent the Charizard UPC.
I hadn't seen that yet.
Because the Charizard and Oricorio promos have been sold on eBay. So people have already had that. So this early on, we basically know everything about the set. Because people who got the ETBs, they had the book. It's got the booklet. It shows everything. The first Golden Charizard has been pulled and I believe sold. Like I said, those promos from the UPC have been sold. Going for obviously ridiculous prices. I assume people who are buying them are planning to go to one of the grading companies who will put a accidental early release label on them. Because these ones, there's been ones in the past where cards have come out early and like, oh, these are stolen, but no, this is just Pokemon Center screw up. Like, people have shown pictures of the blisters with the Phantasmal Flames pack in. People have shown that, like, no, I ordered Mega and got Phantasmal. So that's the only reason I can assume anyone's paying crazy prices for them now is that they're planning to do that. But it's a wild one. Like, any thoughts? Anything else to say?
I just don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get anything from Pokemon Center for Mega. This was the one we missed out on. I mean, really, we only try and get the ETBs because they're the only things with anything exclusive to the Pokemon Center in them. But I mean, it would have been nice to get to do a video of like a Phantasmal pack or two. That would have probably gotten some decent views, I think. I actually haven't seen any videos of anyone opening them other than like bad mobile phone videos.
Sure.
It's just odd, like how I can almost understand the accidentally packaging sending a Phantasmal ETB rather than a Mega, but how does the 3-pack blister end up with 1 pack of Phantasmal? Like, that's so weird that happened.
I feel like that must happen, like...
That's at the printing place.
Yeah.
Or at least the combining the...
So, like, that, at least, those being sent out makes more sense to me. When you're packaging up an ETB, though, like, how do you...
I mean, I imagine a lot of people who are doing the packaging don't know Pokemon.
Maybe.
They probably don't want them to.
Yeah.
It's probably better to have the people who are packaging them not know Pokemon. Because people who know Pokemon and know which products are valuable, there's more likely to get people opportunity stealing stuff.
It's just like, how do you not know Pokemon in this day and age?
I mean, it is what it is. Like, they're probably also not paid enough to care. Like, if they get sent a box and they're told, like, this is the Mega stuff, anything that says Mega, put one from this box in it, and it's not, like, they're not paid enough to go, oh, no, actually, this is wrong, can we get a box switch? They look at the things, they probably don't even look at them. It's like, look at the thing, grab the one from this box that it says, put it in, send it out, You can't blame the people packaging them up. Like, someone higher up has screwed something up somewhere. It's so weird, though. It's so weird. So still Pokemon related, but not TCG. The shiny Miraidon code has been an absolute farce. So originally they had physical codes, right? Like on actual nice card.
Apparently, I've never seen one.
That they always did in the past, but resellers found out about it and going into queuing up for 5 hours to buy their ETB drops to resell on Facebook Marketplace. They were all asking for the code as well and putting them on eBay for $30-$40. Which, people who are resellers are idiots. They don't know what they're doing. They're just grabbing anything with the word Pokemon on it. And
But people are buying it.
because for a while, resellers had cleared out all the GameStops. And these are limited time codes. There was no announcement if they were ever going to get more codes in. So people have the thing of, well, if I want this in game, I have to get the code before this date.
I'm not even talking about just the codes. I'm saying like
People are paying for the shiny Pokemon.
people are paying for anything that has Pokemon on it. Like
Yeah.
it's
But then they released a fix of some sort,
sort of, yeah.
which was they could then start printing out codes on receipts. But they still limited that to 50 per store.
Apparently that was done by Pokemon rather than GameStop.
GameStop are saying it was done by Pokemon. Pokemon are saying it was done by GameStop, as far as I know.
Neat.
So from what we've heard is Pokemon send a fixed amount of codes to GameStop. So any GameStop could have printed codes until like 100,000 were used or whatever. But what's been said is each store was limited to 50 so that it was evenly distributed across all GameStops.
Interesting.
But then Pokemon then apparently sent a second batch of 100,000 codes to let them do it again. But also people have just been DMing GameStop on Twitter or emailing them and have been sent codes. We had it where it was before we went to pick Elton up, we went into our GameStop and they said they didn't have anything. And then literally on the way to pick him up, one of our friends messaged and said, no, this store that you were just at does have codes. So we had to go back after we'd gotten him and get our printed out codes so you could get them in game. And they were already up to like 30 or 40 because they were just crossing the numbers off on a piece of paper.
They had 13 left after us.
Yeah, and the people working at the GameStop weren't happy because even though, you know, the advertisements and stuff do say while stocks last, it is advertisers running for like a week-long giveaway.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, there's no way we're going to have no GameStop is going to have these for more than 2 hours or something.
Yeah, I mean, it took us an hour to get up to Elton. I think we got the message about when we were there.
Yeah, so it was about an hour between getting the message and getting back, and they had 13 left out of 50. So,
and we had people like messaging in a Columbus Discord like,
yeah.
I'm at this GameStop. They still have stuff. I've gone to this GameStop. Don't go there. They're out. Like,
yeah.
just...
like I understood it when it was the physical cards, the code card things, as to why it was limited because they had to print them and stuff. But why is Pokemon like it's a GameStop exclusive thing? I don't know why Pokemon can't just release unlimited codes to GameStop. Like there are billions
They're also
of
being released in other countries, and the codes are not like region specific. So, like,
sure, but it's like a 16-digit code with letters and numbers. More codes exist than copies of that game have been sold. More codes can exist. I don't know why Pokemon can't just keep generating codes as much as all companies need them.
I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
I'm saying like other countries are getting the same Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like, just give us as many codes as we need. Like. Yeah. Send them out to GameStops can get them, EB Games can get them.
Right.
Like,
it's really strange. Well, not too much Pokemon actually this week, other than just what we bought in those little few news items. So, on to some non-Pokemon. Tell us about Riftbound.
Yeah, so I went to my first Riftbound preview event. They have not started their official organized play yet because the game is not officially out yet.
This was just a learn to play demo deck kind of thing.
So same demo decks that they had at Gen Con with the sample on them, the same exact decks that we have.
Yeah.
And you know, it was the store putting it on, so someone from the store kind of going through the rules, explaining. Right. Still probably better than the Gen Con explanation with about the same amount of people.
Okay.
But I got to add a card to our Riftbound collection in the form of Teemo, who is a cute little fluffy looking friend.
So this one, it didn't. So obviously the first one we got, which was Ari, I think, had a promo logo and then a gold stamp on the card as well, saying something like release or preview or something.
Did she?
Yeah. Teemo just has the promo symbol at the bottom. But obviously, exclusive card to these store events, but going to be way more common than the Ari because Ari was Gen Con only. But nice to have another one. Did you decide yet if we're buying that collection box off our friends or not?
No, we haven't really talked
decided.
about it, but
Maybe. Okay. In Magic news, Magic announced another whole bunch of secret lairs with different themes. And as always, they're either, I think this is stupid, or I'm buying these immediately with no middle ground. This time around, the ones that are in the I'm buying this immediately category are Iron Maiden.
Oh, what?
I thought I told you about these. There are a couple of different secret lairs based around the band Iron Maiden.
Okay.
There's no exclusive cards. They're all reskinned cards.
Okay.
Some with the same name and some retitled, but with their like reskins that you could count as the same card.
Yep.
All featuring Eddie, Iron Maiden's mascot. Some of them featuring classic artwork from their albums or their singles, and then some featuring new artwork of Eddie in like to fit whatever card he's on.
Interesting.
So I'm excited about those because I love Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden was the first concert I ever went to.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And yeah, Eddie is just a super cool mascot, I think, for bands or anything in general. He's awesome. I probably need more Eddie merch just because he's great. But yeah, I am excited about those. I'm less excited about the Dwight Schrute from The Office or Furbies or PlayStation.
Wait,
secret lairs.
Furbies?
Yes, you've definitely seen the Furbies. I put one of the pictures in the group chat.
Oh yeah, it's horrific.
Yeah, they're all horrific. They're Furbies.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm less excited about those, but I'm very excited about the Iron Maiden one, which I'll probably be getting when they drop. Or I'll miss it again and be very sad, like I did with most of the Sonic ones.
More likely.
Yeah. Another TCG is getting a new set, and we could be here all day without you looking at my paper, and you'll never guess what it is. Battles in Time is getting a new set.
Excuse you.
The Doctor Who trading card game that ran from 2006 to 2009, the first trading card game I really started collecting when I got back into trading card games before I even collected Pokemon again, is coming back. A company that bought out, like the company that made it went bankrupt and got bought out. That company's gone bankrupt and got bought out. And then, so the company that's making it is a company that bought out a company that was previously making a Doctor Who figure collection, which is another one of those magazine collections where each week you bought the magazine and got a figure. They cancelled that at some point. This company, I don't think, ever brought back the magazine, but they started making the figures again.
Mm.
And they've announced that next year there is going to be another set of Battles in Time for the 20th anniversary of Battles in Time.
Okay.
So I've been talking about this a little bit with people in a Facebook group chat. Basically, we just hope it's like the old Battles in Time. We hope it's not stupid and full of serialized cards and a million different parallels. We just want it to be like the old one, commons, rares, super rares, ultra rares, and a single 1 in 1,000 pack hit card.
Sure.
That's what we want. We just want it to be just like that. But it was a completely out of left field thing for everyone. I mean, people that don't know, there's been multiple Doctor Who trading card games over the years. The original one was back in 1996, which was between the time... That was when the Doctor Who movie came out.
Mm.
But it was between the time... In fact, no, it was 1993, so it was before the movie came out. But it was between the time Doctor Who was off the air and back on the air. Battles in Time started during David Tennant's first season.
Mm-hmm.
Ran for a couple of years. Alien Armies was like a one-off release. Then we had Monster Invasion, which started with Matt Smith's era, and that lasted like 3 sets. The third set was a weird one. Both of those, Battles of Time and Monster Invasion, were the ones where they came with a magazine.
Mm-hmm.
You bought a magazine, it came with a pack of cards every 2 weeks, but you could also buy the packs in stores. And then we had Alien Attacks, which was a Topps thing, where that did have a couple of serialized cards, which were like costumes from the show. But even then, it was only the second set had serialized cards. There was only 7 total, and they were all numbered to like at least 3,000. So it's not like there was one of 1s and one of 10s or whatever. But even that ended, I think the second set of that was 2013. So it's been over 10 years since we've had a Doctor Who TCG, not counting the Magic set.
Sure.
But that's coming back, and I'm excited. I assume it will only be for sale in the UK, so I'll have to get it all shipped to my mum's house and have her ship me a lot of booster boxes, which that's going to be fun for her. But yeah, we don't have any other news than that, other than it's coming back at some point next year. And it should be early next year that pre-orders go up.
Interesting.
But I'm just shocked. I'm so surprised that it's coming back. Excited, but so surprised. I would never have thought ever that was a game that was going to come back. Even if they were doing a new Doctor Who TCG, which it's a weird time to do it because we don't know if the show's even coming back.
Oh, yeah.
Because Ncuti's last season ended with him regenerating, possibly into Billie Piper. Like, she was there. We don't know for definite if she's even the Doctor or not. But we don't know if the show's getting another season. It hasn't officially been renewed for another season. It seems like a weird time to make a Doctor Who TCG. But here we are, you know? Very, very wild.
What?
That was my reaction to it as well. I will, of course, be collecting this. This will not be a one where I go, I'm just going to collect the first set. Like, I mean, unless they do the stupid serialized stuff, in which case it'll be like, I'll collect the base cards. I will want to stick with this because obviously I have the vast majority of the old Battles in Time stuff. All I'm missing for old Battles in Time is a couple of copyright date variations.
Sure.
I have every unique card art and stuff. It's just some re-releases with copyright date changes that I'm missing. And even the other Doctor Who TCGs, I'm not missing very much. In fact, for Alien Armies, I have everything that was officially released. It's 2 unreleased promos that I'm still missing, that are floating around somewhere, but they're hard to find.
Sure.
Monster Invasion, that third set that was a weird one. I don't know what I'm missing of that because I bought a near complete set and it's still at my mum's house and you have to pick it up in January.
Okay.
But there's nothing hard to find from that set, but then I'm missing the like infinites from each set. And then the Alien Attacks, I think I was nearly done with. It was just a couple of random variant cards. I've got all the chases and stuff from that set. And then the original Doctor Who CCG, I didn't really get that much of. I was ignoring it completely until someone sold a near complete set that was just missing the 3 ultra rares and then 1 single rare. So I bought that, and I haven't got those last 4 cards yet, just because it's just been sitting there, and I haven't done anything with it yet. It was just like I can get most of it in one go, very cheap, I'll pick it up. But yeah, Battles in Time's back. I don't even know what to say. We'll see how that all goes.
Neat.
Very interesting. And now I'm going to do what I did in Columbus Card Guys, Jordan, and I'm going to take a card podcast, and I'm just going to go on a bit of a tangent.
Wait, I have another card thing that we didn't talk about.
Okay, you have a card thing.
Back to Riftbound real quick.
Okay.
Since this is sort of a spiritual successor to Columbus Card Guys.
Sure.
Riftbound has already announced that they have a judge program. The set is coming out October 31st. We're going to have a judge program in November. Their first regional qualifier is in December.
That's a lot quicker than Lorcana did it. Yep. Take note. That's how you do it.
They seem like they're doing some good things. They're certainly trying.
Yeah. I mean, they've taken note that it's popular. They're getting that going.
Yeah. I mean, their first regional qualifier, VIP spots were sold out, I want to say, within about 20 minutes.
Right.
Regular spots were sold out within a couple hours on the first day. Yeah. So, I mean...
And Star City Games is already running like big events for this one, like on par with their Lorcana and Star Wars Unlimited and stuff. Size events, and I think it might be a 10K that's happening at SCG-Con in Vegas in November. So they're clearly thinking it's going to do well. So that's good.
Judge program.
Judge program.
Judge promos.
Oh dear. We probably can't collect all of those.
Fine.
Yeah. All right, so can I go off on my tangent now that's not TCG related?
Have a rant.
No, it's not a rant.
Okay.
It's a tangent. It's very, very good news. Just jumping in while editing this with a quick side note that the next large section of this podcast is not really TCG related. It's Doctor Who and other British TV show related. So if you enjoy that, stick around. If not, there are timestamps in the description to jump back to the listener questions and to more TCG related stuff. So there's a company in the UK called Film is Fabulous. They are a company that archives old TV shows and works with private collectors to archive their collections. They just got approved for charity status, so they're officially a charity now, which gives them so much more freedom to work with people because, I mean, obviously now they can take donations and stuff of money from people to help fund these efforts, which was a lot harder when they were a private company. Basically, for people who don't know, a lot of old TV and film in the UK, US, whole world is missing. Like, no one knows if there are surviving copies of it. Doctor Who is a big one that people look at. A lot of the William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton episodes don't exist in the BBC archives. That's why the BBC have done, reconstructions, they've done animated versions, because the soundtracks to all the Doctor Who's exist. A lot of other TV shows aren't that way. And a lot of, I think the silent film era, it's something like only 20% of all silent movies that were ever made are known to still exist.
I didn't know that.
So this company, they work with people to try and archive private collections, and if there is missing stuff, attempt to get it back to copyright holders, and have always wanted it to be made public. Which again is now a lot easier when they're a charity to have this stuff made public through copyright holders, because they don't just find them. Obviously, when they're archiving it, they're restoring old film.
Sure.
It's been like digitized as well as a backup. And I believe it's Sue Malden from the BBC has officially gone on record as saying they know of private collections with missing episodes of Doctor Who. And the Film is Fabulous team have said they are going to be trying to work with these private collectors. They said that it's been a big push lately because they believe over about the next 5 to 10 years, a lot of these private film collectors are going to die, just based on the age of people who collect this old film. And they said that, if it just goes to family, they're not going to know the value of it. Mm-hmm. They're not going to know how to store it, how to deal with it. So they're trying to get in touch with a lot of these collectors to archive their stuff while they're still around before it.
Because film can go bad, can't it?
Yes, if it's not stored and cared for properly, film can go bad. I think so. Obviously, Doctor Who was the 1960s. I think by about the 1960s, film was a bit more
stable.
A bit more stable, yeah. That's why a lot of stuff's happened with the silent film era, is because that stuff was just horrific. That stuff, if it ever got exposed to air after 5 years, it would just start to disintegrate. And that stuff as well used to be so flammable. I think the 60s stuff is still pretty flammable, but one of the reasons that so much silent film stuff is lost is that there used to be a physical archive of a lot of silent film stuff at a cinema, I think somewhere in California, and they had a fire, and just decades of stuff was wiped out forever. It was one of the most famous ones is it's a film called London After Midnight with Lon Chaney. So Lon Chaney was one of the original horror actors. He played... So in London After Midnight, I think it's a vampire film. It's either a vampire one or a werewolf one. I don't know too much about it, but that one is apparently a really talked about one because even though it was a silent film era one, it was a film from 1930. It was known to exist up until I think 1968 when this fire happened, but they had the only copy and it went up in flames. But there's been so many things throughout the years of do we know where this, like, these episodes of Doctor Who, people have known where stuff are, but then it turns out it got destroyed. Like, there were a couple of episodes that were known to exist in, I think it was Cyprus, and the BBC was in talks to get them back, and then the Turkey-Cyprus war broke out, and the TV station got bombed, and they got lost. There's at least one that was known about up until a few years ago, so it was I think it was about 2013. I think it was 10 missing episodes came back. There's 2 6-part stories. One there was already an episode known of, and it was supposed to be all 11 missing episodes came back, but between discovering them and having the negotiation finished to get them back to the BBC, someone stole an episode. So I think it's Enemy of the World. There's one episode still missing. It was the Enemy of the World and the Faceless ones were the 2 stories, I'm pretty sure, and it's one episode of one of them is still missing. I should have researched this more before we started talking about it. But I didn't think I was going to talk about this much, but once I start talking about Doctor Who missing episodes, I just keep going. But obviously with private film collectors, there's a lot less negotiation company to company. It's just, can we do this? Yes. And Film is Fabulous, over the last couple of years, they've done like a pilot program, which is what helped them get charity status, where a couple of big collectors have said, okay, yes, you can archive our stuff. But when they're talking like a private collector, it's like, think of how many Pokemon cards Dave Person owns, and now imagine every one of those cards was a can of film. Like, we're talking about people with like mansions full of film. They said in one post, they found something like 300 reels of silent movie era stuff, which they've had to send to the Library of Congress to just say, can you please help us identify what these are? Because from the silent film era, there's so little documentation around just what films were even made that it's so hard to say, like, this is this. Like, if you find a missing Doctor Who episode, like Doctor Who especially, you know what it is as soon as you look at the reel, because everyone knows about Doctor Who in the like lost media places. But with that stuff, it's like so little documentation. They had to help, let's say, send to the Library of Congress, and they have specifically said, because people are like, oh, when's Doctor Who come back? When's Doctor Who come back? They've said, we are not on a treasure hunt. We're not diving into this for the gold mine. We're not going, what do people want? If someone has a collection, we are archiving the collection, and what is lost will be returned. What is, a better copy than what we have will be upgraded in the official archives for the BBC or ITV or whoever owns the copyright to it. They'll be upgraded, but we're not just going to go through and cherry pick. If we're doing a collection, we're doing a collection. So the fact that Sue Malden's officially said we know of Doctor Who episodes should mean that within the next couple of years we see probably at least 2 or 3 Doctor Who episodes come back out of the 97 that are missing, which I'm so excited about. There's a few other shows I would love to see more episodes back of. The Likely Lads, just because I'm from the northeast of England. That was a sitcom set in the northeast of England. Never even heard it had one season, I think, back in the 60s, and then it was really popular. Like, I think a cult following kind of thing. Like, it got popular after it was off the air, so they made a reboot like 10 years later called Whatever Happened to the Likely Lads, which that also exists. That was in the colour era. Like, a lot of the stuff missing is black and white, because when TV switched to colour, they thought, like, obviously there was still no home videos or anything really at the time, or at least not in big numbers. But once TV switched to colour, they were like, okay, well, we're never going to repeat these black and white shows. And I remember reading at least Doctor Who had a thing of, it was copyrighted to, or the copyright stuff was, you could show it on its original, it could get one repeat, and then they could never repeat it again. Because basically the idea was, so back in the day, like back in at least the 50s and stuff, most TV was done live. It wasn't recorded. So if you wanted to put the same TV show on again, you got the actors back in to just perform. Like, if you were doing, like, basically, it was almost like a play on TV. Oh. So it was done live. So if you wanted to do it again, you got the actors back in. And as we went into the 60s and stuff, with TV being recorded in advance, actors started to see it as, this is a way to cheat us out of our fees of coming back and doing it again. So actors would have it in their contracts of, you get paid a little bit more for doing this, and we can repeat it once. So like you get paid an extra 20%, but we can repeat it a second time, but you'd have to come in. Because actors didn't want to be like recording something and then them showing it every week.
Sure.
When to them, that should be them going in and getting paid a full fee every week to do it every time.
Sure.
So that's why there were limited repeats. So there were some episodes of Doctor Who I think got destroyed because they'd already had their repeat. And, for people to know, it was just, they were destroyed to save space and to reuse tape, because tape was expensive. So they would literally just wipe the tapes and then record something else over the top of them. I think you literally did it with like a magnet thing, just ran the magnet along it, wiped the tape clean, and then reused it to film something else. So yeah, The Likely Lads, and then Adam Adamant Lives is another one I'd love to see some more of back.
You have that on DVD or something,
I have
right?
all of the surviving episodes on DVD. Yeah, it was 2 seasons. I think it's most of the first season still exists, and there's 1 or 2 episodes from the second season. It is what Austin Powers parodies. Like, so obviously Austin Powers parodies James Bond with like his character and stuff, but the whole being frozen thing is somewhat based on Adam Adamant Lives. It's about a guy from the 1920s who is like, he's kind of a detective, but he's like chasing this arch nemesis, and the arch nemesis like gets himself frozen, and so Adam Adamant freezes himself as well, and then gets thawed out in the 60s, which is obviously when the film was set. So it's a guy from the 1920s adapting their life in the 60s. Obviously, Austin Powers is a similar thing. A guy from the 60s frees himself when Dr. Evil frees himself, gets unthawed in the 90s and is dealing with the 90s. So it is sort of like that. So I would like to see more of that, because I do really enjoy that show. Dad's Army is another popular one that people would like to see back. And I think the reason a lot of people talk about Dad's Army is, once again, it's a super popular British TV show. It's it's basically do you know what the Home Guard is for like World War II? So that would be it was the men who weren't fit to be sent off to war would be the Home Guard. So it was like older men, younger boys, people who were to sail or whatever. They would be the Home Guard, and they would basically have like regiments based in England. And it would be, and so Dad's Army was a regiment of older guys in England, and it was all about them like training up for, like, it was a comedy, but it was like training up for in case the Germans invaded England, basically. And there's about 6 seasons of it, I think, the original run, but there's only 3 episodes missing. So I think a lot of people would love to see Dad's Army because it's so close to actually being complete. Of the 3 missing episodes, 1 of them does have the existing audio, and they did it's so beloved they did like a radio play recreation of the other missing 2 at some point, and then for a comic relief thing, like a charity day, they did a recreation of one of the missing episodes with a new cast and stuff too, and it's had multiple like reboot movies and stuff over the years. So that's a super popular one. And then there's just a ton of other British TV shows that people absolutely love. I think like Z Cars is one where I think that's another police-based one. I've never actually watched Z Cars, but that had, I think, 600 or 700 episodes made, and there's only about 30 in existence. And Dixon of Dock Green is another one where that is a cop show where it again had hundreds of episodes, but only a tiny handful exist. Because, well, if you think about when we've been watching 60s Doctor Who. In the 60s, Doctor Who was on for 10 months of the year, like every week. And these other shows were closer to soap operas, so there was like it was on sometimes year round with like 3 episodes a week or something. Like there was obviously 20-30 minute episodes, but there was just so much of them there. For when I talk about the audio still existing, that's not the official audio. That was people pointing microphones at their TV. Like that's how a lot of this missing stuff is around. Especially the audio is people pointing microphones at their TV to record them so they could listen back to them later. There's some Doctor Who where clips exist of people who literally pointed a video camera at their screen to record something, but like so few people had cameras.
Yeah.
But it was just because it was such a beloved program that so many people want to experience it again, and there was no way to do that. There was no home video. There was no audio. There was no like vinyl releases that didn't start happening until years later. And so the closest thing other was, I think even back then they had like the yearly annuals, like the kids' books, and then some novelizations, I think maybe started back then, but there was no way for people to watch repeats, so people would just try and do it themselves. And then there was, like, if film cans were going to be junked, like not wiped, but they're just going to be thrown out, a lot of people who worked at the BBC would just hide them and take them home rather than binning them. And that's why a lot of Doctor Who that got recovered did take a little while, because a lot of it was BBC people who were like, well, I stole this, you know?
Yeah.
Like, my boss told me to bin this and I took it home. Like, no, I'm not going to walk back into the BBC and say, hey, I stole this. So it was like, it was a few years ago now, but the BBC had to put out an official, like, amnesty thing of, if you have any missing TV, we will not sue you, we will not get you in trouble, you can return it to us and it's fine. But there were still like, you know, more collectors, and there are still collectors out there today who are like, no, I want it, I want to be the only one who has it. Which, you know, as a collector, I get the idea of I like to have the only few copies of something rare. But I think it's different when it's like there was deals where they could still keep the original.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, please let us make a copy of it so we can air it so people can actually see it. But again, I'm hoping with Film is Fabulous now being a charity, that's going to be a much bigger thing. I'm just excited to see any TV back. If you really don't know, there's Film is Fabulous and some others do. There's like conventions every year in the UK. There's a few where they'll go along and they'll like screen footage that's been found over the past year, or footage that's been restored recently, of even if it's just like really short clips of different things, and like different even if it's like clips of the news or whatever, they'll screen it. It was probably what 15 years ago at least now. It was when 2 episodes of Doctor Who came back. They screened them there for the first time, but they didn't say anything about it in advance because they didn't want people showing up to this convention who only wanted to see Doctor Who. They just wanted people to come along who were into the idea of recovering this lost media, and then as a special treat, they got to see these 2 episodes of Doctor Who. There's a lot of like there's like Facebook groups and stuff for a lot, like, I keep calling it lost media. When people think of lost media, think of like these, you see all the YouTube videos like, oh, this is lost media. And it's just like, well, no, it's not really lost media. Like, different categories of lost media are, when I'm talking about Doctor Who and stuff being lost media, it's like, this may not exist anywhere in the world. Some people use lost media as, I can't watch this on Netflix now. Like, when I did this with Jordan on the podcast, he said that there was a forum he was on, or we were talking about people called Dogma lost media for a while, you know, the Kevin Smith film, because it had a DVD release shortly after it was made, then never got a DVD reprint, never got a Blu-ray print, because Harvey Weinstein owned the company that could release it, and Kevin Smith had publicly spoken out about Harvey Weinstein before everyone was speaking about Harvey Weinstein. So, like, as a screw you to Kevin Smith, he would never release Dogma. People were like, oh, Dogma's lost media. It's like, no, it's not. You can go on eBay right now and buy a DVD of it. It's $100 because it's a rare DVD, but you can go and
exists.
It exists. Or you can go on the Pirate Bay and you can download it. It's there. It's not lost media. Some people have trying to be called like some albums lost media because they've been taken off Spotify recently. Like artists who took their stuff off Spotify say, is this lost media? No, go and buy the CD. And there's lost media YouTubers who are like, oh, well, there was this cartoon that I remember and we couldn't find it. I was speaking with our friend Nathan from Bulbapedia, Maverick Nate, speaking about one briefly recently where he was like, yeah, I saw something about lost media. And the end of the search was someone had already uploaded it to the Wayback Machine, but no one had bothered checking. It's like, that's not lost media. Lost media is the company who made this has put out a like worldwide search for the past 50 years to try and get it, and they haven't. There was at one point when Doctor Who, the revival started, and all the classic episodes were getting released on DVD for the first time. The BBC put out a thing where if anyone returned a missing episode, they would be given a Dalek, like a full-size, proper Dalek. But like these companies obviously want to buy that. That's what I mean by lost media when I say lost media, and I'm always just so fascinated by that stuff. Like, it's just so cool to see the stuff coming back, see where it comes back from. I know this is supposed to be a TCG podcast, but I'll put a warning in this one that the last half of it is not about TCGs at all. But I talked about Doctor Who and I got off on a tangent. But I just love this stuff, you know.
I'm just daydreaming about building a time machine, going back in time.
What, just
getting an episode of Doctor Who, going forward a couple of years, turning it in for a full-size Dalek.
40 years. Because it was 1960s, the stuff was missing. And then a lot of the Doctor Who stuff is returned from overseas as well. Like, that's why Doctor Who is pretty well represented compared to other stuff, was because it was sold overseas. So they made a lot of copies of the master tapes to send to other countries. And that's why, like I said, there was those ones in Cyprus that could have come back because it's sold over there. Honestly, if stuff comes back, it's probably going to be Singapore. Like, if it comes back from other countries, because that's where a lot of the paper trail ends for a lot of episodes. Because a lot of them have, it's like, oh, we shipped them to Australia. They decide if they want to buy it. They ship them here. We have the paper trail. They return them to the BBC. We know they did that. But the paper trail for a lot of them ends in Singapore.
Interesting.
Funnily enough, there was one set of episodes where they were sold to Australia, and Australia censored them before they put them on TV. Said it was too scary. And the way that they censored them was they just took the film and just cut out the bits they didn't like and then glued it back together. And the episodes were missing, but someone found the bits that they'd cut out. And it was some student in Australia who was pretty sure he knew that these clips still existed and knew where they would be in this building, but couldn't get anyone to look for them. So just like blagged his way into this TV studio. I think he said he was working on like a school project or something. Just lied his way in and found them and was like, I think it was borderline, can I have this? And they went, we don't know what it is. Yeah. So there was a few episodes where only the scariest clips existed. But they said that everyone said that there's one episode of Doctor Who they don't think will ever come back, which is episode 7 of the Daleks Master Plan. Daleks Master Plan was a 12-episode story. And it's so funny, episode 7 went out on Christmas Day.
I was going to say, that's the one that had like nothing to do with the story, right?
Correct, because funnily enough, with how Doctor Who went years later, they thought, no one's going to watch Doctor Who on Christmas Day. No one's going to be watching television on Christmas Day. So they were like, well, we don't want to have an important part of the story. So they just basically went to a cutaway episode that had nothing to do with the rest of the story and ended with William Hartnell breaking the fourth wall, looking directly into the camera and saying, Merry Christmas to all of you at home as well. So when they sold the Daleks Master Plan abroad, they sold it as an 11-part series just without that episode in it. So that was one that like never got copied. Obviously that one was never going to get a repeat. So that's the one where everyone's like, yeah, that's probably gone forever. But obviously, you know, if we're getting in touch with these private collectors, who knows? Maybe if something happens, I'll maybe add a little addendum to this podcast. I should just find someone else who loves this stuff and just do a Lost Media podcast as well as. But I mean, Film is Fabulous, so they do their own podcast.
I was going to say, you're not like, you're interested in it, but you're not that.
Yeah, I'm not.
In the community.
No. What I should do is find 2 people who are really interested in it and offer to record their podcast with them over Zencaster, where I just produce it and edit it for them because I want someone else to hear all this stuff. Yeah, well, that was our TCG podcast for this week, I guess. That was 50% not about TCGs in any way. But it was, because Doctor Who's getting a new TCG, and that was about Doctor Who. Mostly. It was also about Adam and Lives, and
I was here too.
And Austin Powers. I mentioned Austin Powers. That has a CCG. We have a full set of that one. It was by Decipher. It's very, very cheap. You can buy the entire set for about $10 because you need like 1.5 booster boxes will finish it, and booster boxes are about $8, and then you need 1 starter deck to get the exclusives out of, which are about 50 cents. Because unsurprisingly, Austin Powers, not really the best brand for a TCG, because no kids are watching Austin Powers, and kids play a lot of TCGs, and...
No, I definitely watched Austin Powers as a kid.
I think I did as well, to be honest. In fact, I definitely remember watching it at sleepover because I remember talking about it with my dad and Deb before I went, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna watch Austin Powers and stuff," and they're like, "Is that appropriate?" And my dad was like, "I don't care." I think Deb said, "Is that appropriate?" Because it's Austin Powers, and I think my dad was like, "That sounds like parenting. I'm not going to get involved with that." So, I definitely know I watched Austin Powers as a child, but I wouldn't. I don't think I would have then been allowed to go and buy a trading card game of Austin Powers.
Sure.
Or I don't think I'd want to. I'd have wanted more Pokemon cards.
Sure.
I bet people like this a bit, sort of.
Tell them if you liked it.
Oh, I forgot we have listener questions as well.
Oh, God.
We had a couple of those because I forgot I was going to do them right after the non-Pokemon bit, and the non-Pokemon bit went on forever. I think they're both from Stephen Kassoon. They should both be quick ones.
Hi, Stephen.
Hi, Stephen. First, he asked, do I think that the World's Pikachu winner version is appropriately priced? Honestly, I don't know. I'm answering this in here just to say values and prices are so not our thing. We make decisions when we're buying stuff, but I really don't love giving people advice on when something's appropriately priced. I will say I don't think that card's ever going to get released again.
What's it at right now?
So all of the asking listings are about 200, 250. The sold ones are closer to 150. So I still need one. So
yeah, I'd pretty much snap at 150.
Yeah, I think if I see another listing at 150, I'll probably just buy it now. But yeah, that's what I'd say. Personally, like I say, I'll buy one at 150. There's not going to be any more. Even
Probably not. Yeah.
Even though the winner one doesn't have worlds on it.
Yeah.
I can't see it being a thing they re-release, especially because we're now in a new era of Pokemon.
And it's like the art is.
Yeah, is
like
the
Anaheim
world. Yeah, worlds. Yeah. I mean, we've said the same thing about Pikachus in the past. The Pikachu on the ball, I didn't think they'd ever do a big release of. In fact, Pokemon said they weren't ever going to do a big release of that. They said that one was going to be limited, and then I spent $800 a piece on 2 copies, and they released them in game. I also didn't think they would ever release that League Pikachu that got leaked in Australia, and then they put that one out. But then there's also, other League ones that got cancelled. I mean, the League ones from London, I thought they would re-release, and they didn't. They released 3 of them, the Raid Battle ones, but not the other 3. But so yeah, I think, Stephen, I would say if I was you, if you see one at 150, if you want it, I think that's fine. Another question from Stephen is, are we ever going to dabble in Star Wars Unlimited? I did. I dabbled when it first came out, bought a decent amount of the first set, played a bit. I went to some tournaments and stuff when the game first came out. But I mean, I talked about this a lot on Columbus Card Guys because Jordan was really, really into it. Jordan was into it for a lot longer than I was. But eventually he got annoyed with it, with the way they were running it and stuff too. And it was another thing of it was just you fighting for spots in tournaments.
Mm.
So it's like, when we were on Columbus Card Guys, Jordan tried to get into competitive Pokemon for a while. And he was like, okay, if I'm doing this, I want to try and qualify for Worlds, whatever. Sat down September, starts playing, first batch of regionals goes up, he goes 0 for 3 on being able to register because the spots are so limited, and he was like, well, okay, that's now the first quarter of the year, I can't play competitive tournaments, really, to get these points that I need, I'm just not going to try. SWU sort of felt a bit like that. It felt like they didn't always know what they were doing, I guess. And the fact that their first set of kind of big in-store tournaments they were Galactic qualifiers, so the Galactic Championships, I think, was their equivalent of Worlds, which for the first year they said would be an open tournament. Mm-hmm. Future years it would be qualification. But these Galactic qualifiers were... Maybe you did have to qualify. You could basically, they gave you buys if you won them, but I think maybe it was they guaranteed you entry to it. But they were just run by a selection of stores. But it was like some stores were running them like they were regionals, and some were running them like they were a league challenge. Mm-hmm. It was like some stores were doing it's a 10K tournament, and you register here online, and you buy your ticket, and these are the prizes. And some Jordan was calling up, and they were like, oh, no, just show up on the day, whatever, we think it'll be fine, we're not taking pre-reg. So it felt like there was a huge disconnect there.
Yeah.
And I think if I'm ever going to get seriously into a TCG that I haven't been in before, outside of, just collecting first sets or collecting a bit here and there, it will be if I'm playing it competitively. Because I'd never want to try and do another TCG of like master setting everything like I try and do with Pokemon, because TCGs nowadays you just can't. Like even Pokemon, it's hard to do it now. And doing it with another TCG would just be too much. And it's going to be so hard to get me into a TCG competitively, because I'm going to have to really enjoy playing it. It's going to have to be relatively cheap to play. Like, a thing where, like, Star Wars wasn't too bad for that. It was, because again, the Super Chase cards were like special versions of the leaders and stuff, so you get the basic versions. I would also have to have it where a lot of people local to me were wanting to play and wanting to go to tournaments at the same level I was. And it's going to have to be a good, solid OP program. Like, honestly, if I cared about League of Legends at all, Riftbound might hit those, because obviously we've got a lot of people around here wanting to play. It seems like they know what they're doing with tournaments, but yeah, I also think it would have to be one where you weren't also wanting to do it, just because obviously with the dogs and stuff, it's so much easier for one of us to go away for a weekend than both of us.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, we need at least one dog to die.
Jesus, okay. Dark, but okay.
I mean...
Well, no, even if we have one dog, it's still, we have to get our neighbor or someone to come and watch the one dog, or it's just easier, like, if I'm traveling with friends, and in terms of cost as well, like, 2 spots in a hotel room compared to 1, I don't see myself ever getting very seriously into another TCG that I'm not already in. Part of that is just because of the way TCGs are made nowadays, where completing a set of a TCG, like fully master setting it, is exhausting and difficult, because every TCG has it where, you need to open, like if you want to open it, you have to open 100 boxes to finish a set, like to get everything. It's just...
If you want to play Pokemon, though, you can build a deck for super cheap.
Yeah, I just don't, though. I mean, one, because I'd have that thing that Jordan did where it's still difficult to get into regionals. And also, I haven't ever enjoyed playing Pokemon anywhere near as much as I enjoyed, like, playing Magic. Like, even Star Wars Unlimited, and I think even Lorcana, I think I preferred playing Lorcana to playing Pokemon.
Oof, that's a take.
I mean, obviously not Limited Lorcana. Limited Lorcana was garbage, but Limited Pokemon was pretty garbage. To be honest, I love playing Limited, and it was only Magic that I ever really loved doing that in. And then Magic ruined it by getting rid of draft boosters, because Hasbro. So yes, I've dabbled in Star Wars Unlimited.
I think the art is not great, so...
I think in Star Wars Unlimited, I do not think there is any bad art in Star Wars Unlimited. I think all the art is good, just inconsistent and incoherent. I do not think there's any card where I'd look at it and go, I don't like that art, but if you put it in a binder, you'd be like, what is going on? If I open an 18 card page, it's like, oh, there are at least 12 different art styles here. That was my problem with art in it. Like, I didn't dislike any of the art. It was just like, oh, the styles are so
I've definitely seen standalone arts that I have...
Maybe. There's maybe some questionable ones, but I've never, but I don't think I hate... Like you said, the art was bad overall. Like, I think the majority of the art is good. Okay. It's just inconsistent. Not even inconsistent with some of it's good, some of it's bad. It's just, the styles just don't look right together. Whereas at least in Pokemon, when you get like the illustration rares, there's a lot of artists doing their own thing, but the main set is pretty consistent with styles and stuff, I find. And even when it's different artists doing different stuff in Pokemon, it's still Pokemon. Mm-hmm. So there's a limit to how much they could change it, So I feel like I dabble in most CCGs. Like, I'm willing to give most of them a chance when they come out. Even if it's just for a case of, like, I'm going to do a video, I'll open a bit and see what I think of this. Mm-hmm. So, okay, I think that was now a podcast. 2:30 in the morning for reference, because Law does League on Tuesday night.
We were supposed to be filming these on Mondays. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's because the news video changed, so this changed. We can maybe go back to filming these on Mondays and put them out Wednesday. We'll see. We'll see what happens in 2 weeks' time.
I mean, you can still put them out on Thursday.
No, because I don't want too long between recording and releasing, because we're talking about news and stuff, so we don't want to miss too much news. Anyway, that was the podcast. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Hopefully you didn't mind too much. There was a huge chunk of non-TCG content in the middle of it. You know, I put timestamps in the descriptions and stuff so people can skip that if they want. Maybe I'll film a pickup bit for at the start and just be like, hey, there's a big chunk of this that's non-TCG. When we get to that, here's how to skip it. But yes, thank you all for watching. Thanks, as always, to More Than Never, who let us use the music that you've heard throughout this episode. You can check them out on Spotify, YouTube, etc. The band is on a hiatus, but all of their stuff is still available online. It is not yet lost media. And yeah, with theirs, if it got taken off Spotify, it might be, because I don't think they did CDs or anything.
I mean, you've downloaded most of it, so...
I do. I have downloaded most of it, because I use a lot of it for podcasts, because I'm friends with their drummer, so he lets me do it for free. I have offered to pay him for his music. He didn't want payment.
Thanks, Chase.
Thanks, Chase. Yeah, go check them out. This is Law. You can follow Law on some social media.
Please don't.
Wow, you can follow Law on Instagram. You can see Law's art from like a year ago. You can follow Married with Cards on. We have an Instagram and a BlueSky as well.
Also doesn't post.
Yeah, we do.
Does it?
Yeah, it posts every time there's a new episode out. So if you only care about this and don't care about all my other stuff, you can follow them there to get it posted out to you. You can also just follow the channel. I put other stuff up on here. Obviously, these come out every 2 weeks. The weeks in between, I do a news update video. So I talk about all of the news for the Pokemon of the last 2 weeks, but just very short bursts of it, just giving you the highlights so that you know what's happened. Then obviously in between then, I try and post other videos as well. But it is mainly the podcast and the news videos at the moment, because I'm working on organising 50,000 cards or whatever we've got in our house. Probably more than that.
More than that.
Yeah, definitely more. So there's maybe 50,000 just here with all these bulk boxes. If you have any questions you want to ask us that I will almost forget about and then put at the end of next episode, leave them in the comments of this. You can leave them on comments on the Instagram, maybe. Best way is definitely here. If you like what I do, I also have a Patreon. That's also linked in the description. That will go towards funding any of this stuff that I do.
Mostly dogs being idiots.
Actually, my Patreon goes towards funding me supporting other Patreons. Yeah, that's... If my Patreon covers my outgoings to other creators' Patreons, then I'm happy with it. Which it does at the moment, which is nice. So yes, thanks again for watching. Thanks for listening. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this. Do you like when I go off on a bit of a non-TCG tangent? Would you prefer I kept it just TCG? Would you prefer I put the TCG questions before it so you could just end at that point? I feel that's probably going to be the overwhelming majority, is just I will turn off after the TCG bit.
Next week, I'm going to make a cardboard cutout of myself and just sit it here.
I mean, I'll say go ahead because I know you won't. All right. Anything else you want to say before the end of the video?
No.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.